evening and welcome back to Checkpoint. We are glad to have you with us. My guest this evening is the Makueni Governor, Professor Kivutha Kibwana. Thank you for staying with us. Before we wrap up on just what's going on within Wiper, to the point I made before we went to break, that do you see this from where you sit as a party leader who's insecure and wants to keep a hold of the party and quote-unquote region? Or what do you say to the critics who argue that governors like yourself and, as I said, Governor Mutua on their last term are trying to position themselves to be the ones they seem to be the kingpins, as largely our politics being tribal have been described in the past?
I really don't think it's a question of jostling for succession as such, but it's a question of just saying, please, when we agree on things, let's do them. And let us try as much as possible to make development available to our people. And please, let us not use some of the MCAs to really undermine governors, hold them on their feet so that they can't kind of move. Let us have hygiene in our politics as we play regional politics, and of course they translate into regional politics.
Yeah.
And it's always good if people sit down. For example, we, the people of Makueni, told me, okay, now we have decided party leader can take back the chairmanship because we took you to him, and now we have said that that position can be taken away. They said, we don't want you to leave the party as a party member, and we don't want them to expel you. But if they do, it's okay. We'll come back and we'll make election.
So wait, what do you mean? They
again.
said they don't want you to continue to be chair, they don't want you to be expelled, and they want you to stay in the party.
To stay in the party as an ordinary member. Because of course parties
But if you
don't
disagree with a party leader who you're saying, in summary, is dishonest and does not keep his word, why would you stay?
Because the party does not belong to him. It doesn't belong to...
But you're saying he's the one who appointed you. It was
No,
not
that is the chair. That is the chair, not as a party member. Not as a party member, because the party is owned by all the party members. It's not owned by us who are officials or the present officials. But they also said, if it comes to the party deciding that you should be expelled, even when they don't want, then that's okay. We can go for another election. But more critically, they said to really also go back and show their displeasure to party leader. They will take back a goat. In Kikamba culture, when a lady is married, and that's what they told him, that as we give you this man, our three goats, the goats of marriage, will be this, and this was a political marriage as opposed to marriage. The three goats were supposed to be, I should be treated well within Wiper. I should not be exposed to problems, and even the nomination without having problems and so on.
Yeah.
So now they said they are going to return a goat of refusal, because in our culture, when a marriage breaks down, the person who is aggrieved takes back a goat to signify that that is the end of the marriage. Therefore, that's the end of my being a party chair. Yeah,
but briefly on that, because I want us to get to the questions coming through. At the end of the day, what you have described is that this is a one-man show, that the democracy within the party is not working, because if it was working, then the things agreed on early on would have held. They haven't. Correct. So this is about the former vice president running this show the way he will. So why stay?
Of course, one thing is, as I said earlier, people have expectations. When you have a political party and you invite people to it and they become members,
right, they
have their rights within it, and you can't simply wake up and tell them that I will expel you from the party, because previously when that has happened, people have gone to court. Although I wouldn't go to court myself. If they decided they will expel me, I wouldn't go to court myself. So it is that political right that you can stay in a party, because without a good reason, you cannot be expelled as such. But it is true, I wish the party was run, better. I wish political parties in Kenya could be more democratic, particularly as we go to the possibility of some form of a parliamentary system which requires real political parties and strong political parties and political parties which have internal democracy.
So that's what you'd support, a parliamentary system?
I'm in the committee of the referendum committee. I'm a co-convener in the Council of Governors, and that is something that we are discussing. So we have not said that that is what we want as of now, but it is on the table.
Okay. Let's go a little bit to the county itself, and quite a number of questions coming in. One, Mutuku Fred sent 10 questions. Some of them we have been able to cover them, as far as just the position of the former vice president. But there's a question that has kept coming up. Your comments, he says, on Kikima na Kalamba, and asking about them, whether they're being PR projects. And here, there was another question around the same. A man said, and I want to get that, I worked, he says, thanks to the governor, but I have one concern. I was once attached to Kikima Dairy last year, but my wish is to see the Kalamba plant working continually and not as the conditions were last August. What is your take on that? So there's concern around that it's not, whilst you have the production of the dairy plant and you have the fruit processor, but this is not through and through. Talk to us about
There are about 16 dairy outfits in the county. 2 are major, Kikima as well as Kadonzweni. And in Kadonzweni we are working with the USAID. And this dairy outfits, first of all, we started by artificial insemination, making sure that farmers had good breeds.
Yes.
We went into also helping them to grow so that they have feeds.
Yes.
And then we were helping them with coolers, and all that. And as far as I'm concerned, if anybody is not talking propaganda, like now, they should just go to Kalamba and see what is happening there. People have been visiting, international people have been visiting. We need to make it work around the year by now buying, like sometimes we're buying mangoes from the coast. We need to also buy mangoes from Machakos.
Yeah.
We are now working with European Union to have a capacity of not just doing puree, but doing juice. We are also doing water. We're in the process of doing water, waiting for KEBS certification. So sometimes when people disagree with you, they say that some of the things that you do well, they are not being done. And part of the problem that I have is, like, now the weapon machinery is trying very hard to say most of the things that we are doing are nothing. And that's okay, because a time will come when
they'll speak for themselves.
They'll speak
projects
for themselves, and they're speaking for themselves, and we are getting a lot of attraction. People are coming. People can't come to see things in Makuene, like Council of Governors.
We saw that they came to learn. There were counties in the country coming to learn best practice in your county.
And we also go elsewhere to learn what other governors are doing.
And Leo Kivutha is saying Professor Kibwana demystifies the notion that those in public offices must still squander and misappropriate resources. I pray many will see him and seek deliverance from greed, because that is a problem in this country. You have Regina Siombua saying, as much as healthcare services is concerned, in Makueni, you've done a great job. You improved sub-county hospital as well. So there's a lot of positive feedback. Gadara says, please ask Governor about his stand regarding the push for changes to the 2010 Constitution. Are there any particular changes he would prefer?
Yes, definitely. I would like, and this is a position of all governors, because a lot of the times I have to speak for all of them, since I'm in the committee for that with Kiraito and others. We would like more resources coming to devolution. Now we have about minimum of 15. There's been talk of 45%. And of course, with a guarantee that we shall take care of those resources. That is definitely one thing.
Yes.
We have also discussed about the gender question. so that the Constitution clearly now stipulates that at least 1/3 will be of either gender. That is something that is also important to us.
Yeah.
We have also been discussing the question of how do you make sure that after elections we have an inclusive system, so that we don't have to butcher each other or to disagree every time there is an election. That again is something that is on the cards. But I think, and this is also something that we are discussing, this is not perhaps the time to do very extensive changes within the Constitution.
Okay.
Because if you do that, people will disagree, and it might not actually come to pass.
All right.
Some of the very important things will be missed out.
I have about a minute to go. A quick one here. Is the governor being used by a higher power to divide the Kamba nation? Why should he betray the man who has been a good leader to the Kamba people, to the nation and at large for personal gain? What do you tell that?
Kenya is a
That's
democracy.
Kevo Prince.
Kenya is a democracy. There is nothing about dividing a community. There is nothing about saying that. Like, I mean, I can be a president. Mutua can be a president. Joe can be a president. Oparanya can be a president.
Will you run in 2022?
Can be a president. Some of the people in Kenya are seriously asking me to run, and I'm watching, that space. So you can't be threatened. Like, I can't support anybody because I'm being threatened. During Moi's era, that era of one-partyism in Africa, we stood up and we said we must have freedom. And it was at great risk because, you could be imprisoned and so on and so forth. So this being intimidated that, there is somebody who has come before you. We are same age, we are age mates with Kalonzo. I was even 1 year ahead of him at the university. But that goat that I was telling you about, of taking a goat to him, the elders, the clergy, the elders have said, before that happens, we want to sit you down. And of course, those are not easy people to say no to. And if, the elders, we have a group of the religious leaders and the elders. If they ask us to come and sit down, and we are sitting down as all, the leaders, not the governors and Kalonzo, not at one is superior and so on, then we will tease out, whatever things we must tease out. Right. And so that as I depart from being a chair and so on, there isn't too much bad blood. Yeah.
In 10 seconds, we are 3 years out to 2022 in that general election. Running for president is not an overnight decision. So you, outside of those who are asking you to run, would you want to run? Would you want to run this country as president?
I am sure I can run this country as president, not alone, with others, and be very consultative, all those things. But I also know that you don't just wake up and say alone you are going to, to run Kenya. This will be a decision of many people together who will say, we are on this side and the others are on that side, and we want to compete, and we will discuss. But I'm more interested with the reforms, so that we get that right. We don't have to every time the elections kill each other. Yeah. I'm more interested in that, and I like what Honorable Raila, the handshake with the president, him coming to the president saying, even if we have differences, let's make Kenya better. Okay. I like that, and even I sympathize with Murathe, who said, he can't be vice chairman because there are issues. And we are in the same boat. I can't be, chairman of WIPA, similar situation.
Yeah, but he has left, you haven't.
But, the people told Kalonzo,
they'll return the goat.
Take back your position, because they took me to him.
Okay. We'll end it there, Governor. Unfortunately, our time is up, but thank you for being with us. We will be watching, holding you accountable to the mandate you have to the people of Makueni, but also we wish you the best.
Thank you.
And of course, there are many people out here sending in messages appreciating the work you've done so far.
Thank you very much.
So keep up with the good work. Thank you for being with us. Professor Kivutha Kibwana, Makueni County Governor, on Checkpoint tonight. We're taking